Hi, welcome back to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl, and tonight, I say tonight because it's been so stinking hot during the day that I am going to be tying and pruning my tomatoes. And my sister and I, we were chit-chatting on the phone, and she was saying how some of the other YouTubers that we watch, so we watch Epic Gardening, and he was stating on there that for indeterminate tomatoes, you don't really have to prune them heavily. You still have to tie them up, but you don't have to prune them heavily. And then Luke from MI Gardener, he was saying the same thing. But I watch Jess from Roots and Refuge, and she has always staked and heavily pruned her tomatoes. And in the past couple of years, since I have started doing that, I have found that my tomatoes have done really well. So I'm going to try a little experiment this year, and it's only going to be for the tomatoes that I have two of the same variety. So here I have two Amish paste, and then behind me I have two New Girls. So what I've decided to do is the two on the inside I am going to prune heavily, and I am going to tie them up and stake them. The two on the outside I am not going to prune heavily, but I still will stake them, and we'll see if there's any difference in production, quantity, overall outcome. So what I need is I have a pair of snips to be able to prune with, and then I have some tape that I tie my tomatoes with. Here it is. I've got it. I was debating on whether to use gloves or not, because when you're working with tomatoes, it's a very messy job, because all of the residue that comes off of the tomatoes when you're handling them, they cause like a tomato jam on your hands. So first, I'm going to start by pruning off all of the bottom leaves up to about half of the tomato plant right now. Like, these are just big enough now that I can start tying them to my panel that I have here. So I'm going to prune out any of the suckers. And the suckers are what's in that elbow of the tomato plant. I'll bring you in and show you a little closer of what I mean by that. So right now I'm just going to prune off the bottom leaves. And why I prune the bottom leaves off is it gives it more airflow for the tomato plant. And then I'm going to just snip out these suckers here, and there's another one back here. And then once I think that's good, and then I'm going to get my tape, and this is just a stretchy tape that I get from Amazon, and I'm going to tie this to my cattle panel. It's so much nicer without having the sun blazing down on you and you're sweating to death. So there's one. So that one's done. For this one, I'm just going to leave it. So that was my New Girl, and that was all of this is all what I took off of the New Girl. And now I will do the same with this one, and this is the Amish paste. And the Amish paste is like an oversized Roma. So I'm going to start by taking off the bottom leaves. Okay. And then I don't have, since I've taken out the bottom leaves, I don't have any suckers on this one. I'll get my tie, and then we'll tie that to the panel. And I only do this with my indeterminate tomatoes. And that's all I have out here are indeterminate tomato plants. All of my determinate bush style tomato plants are all on my deck. So here you have, I've heavily pruned it from the bottom up. And any of the suckers are what you find in the elbow of the plant, in that little V. If there's something coming up the middle, I'll show you on this one. So this is the new girl. This is the sucker. It's growing in the V, pocket, elbow, and that is what your sucker is. So this one, I'm not going to heavily prune it. I am just going to tie it to the panel. So I'll get my tape, and I will just tie this so it has some support, then it won't fall over, because it is going to get heavy as it grows. And this is probably just going to be about, will just about kill me not to prune these heavily, but we'll see. And this other Amish paste is not quite tall enough to get this tied to the panel. This is the back side of the panel, and these are black crim. Now I have a black crim here, and I have a black crim here. This one on the inside, this is the one I'm going to be pruning heavily and staking to the panel. And this one I'm just going to tie it to the panel. Here, this is an Aunt Ruby's German green. I don't have two of these because I lost the other one over here because of the hail. I lost it, and so I ended up putting another black crim over on this side. So I'm pruning this Aunt Ruby's German green. I'm going to heavily prune it and tie it, but because this is another black crim, I'm going to heavily prune that and tie that one too. But this one over on this side, I will not heavily prune, and we'll see how that goes. This one here, you can't really see. It has fallen down into my carrots, hence the reason why I have to stake these up. It's just getting too crazy. So I am going to prune the bottom leaves. I have two sun gold, but then I have two different cherry tomatoes, and anything that's I only have one of, I am planning to heavily prune this. I will prune the bottom leaves, which I can't really see because of them growing into or falling over into the carrots. So we'll just prune all of this off. And then I'm gonna, no, I just broke that branch, so I'll just take it right off. And I'm gonna pull this closer so that I can tie this plant to this side. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm also going to bring this, because this has ended up, oh, I know what's going on. This is a sucker that has gotten way out of control. This is actually the lead plant. So I will tie this right up to here. I'll grab my tie. And pull this up. And this is the reason why they need to be tied, is because they're just getting a little overgrown and falling all over the place. Now, can I get this up here? I was hoping to be able to tie this to there. Well, I'll just keep an eye on this for the next couple of days, and then if I have to, then I will add another tie to that one. Let's see if this one's big enough to tie to here. Yeah, I could tie this one up too. This is the other sun gold, and I won't prune it, but I will tie it. I actually have to tie both of these up here because it has forked into 2 leaders on it. So I am gonna have to tie this up in 2 spots on both sides. That's another reason why I prune so much, is because it just ends up like a jungle. And it's not too bad if you're going to tie them up. Okay, I need another one for this branch, but it's not very tall, so I might just have to do the same, kind of keep an eye on it. But I can prune this other one. This one here, this is the natural black cherry. So I'm gonna prune all the bottom branches off. And this is the first time I've pruned any of my tomato plants this year. And then I'll pick out the suckers. We've got a couple of them in here. And then I'm gonna tie this to the panel. I'll tie that right there, right up to here. There's another cherry tomato. This is a chocolate sprinkles cherry tomato. I might not get this tied up, but I definitely will prune it. And I'll take those all away. I can tie it kind of. I'll just tie it to this first little rung here. As you can see, these tomatoes aren't close enough to the panel to be able to tie them up. It doesn't even reach to the bottom of the panel. That one definitely isn't big enough, nor that one. So let's move up here. And some of these might make it. Now I still went over and I pruned those two inside tomatoes. So over there I have 2 Old German and I have 2 of the Carnival Blend. And so I did the 2 inside ones. I pruned off the bottom branches off of it, but because they're not tall enough, I can't stake them. They're all cherry tomatoes, so I'm pruning all of these heavily. So I will just prune the bottom branches off. This one here has gone into 2 liters. So what I mean is what has happened was there was one single stem, but then it ended up getting a sucker on it, and now I have 2 leaders coming from it. So I am just going to prune off the bottom branches, and then these 2 leaders I will prune off the next set. Because then once this plant gets big enough, then I'm going to be tying both of these sides to the panel. So right now I can only tie the one side. So I'll get my tape and tie up the one side, but the other side I'm going to have to wait to tie that one up. So I will just tie this one to this side without tying the leaves in the tie. And then I'll have to wait to tie the other side. And this one here is my sweetie cherry. Can I tie this one? I can try, I guess. I'll just tie it to this stem here and just loosely tie it to here, and then once it gets bigger, then I'll be able to tie it better. But I'll just do a loose tie. I'm looking at my mystery tomato next to it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to tie this one up. Yeah, that one's too small, too short still. So I'll just prune the bottom leaves off of this one. And this would have had another leader on it, but I'm not going to let that happen. And then I'm going to take out the sucker on this one. Yeah, I can't tie that up yet, but I will be able to soon. Okay, and then I'll come down here. This is my yellow pear cherry tomato. I'll take out my little suckers that are growing in the little elbow of it. Another one right there. I just like calling them little suckers because one minute you look at it and then the next minute, oh, there's the little sucker. It's right there. The whole time it was right there. Yeah, this one probably I won't be able to tie this one up either. But I can prune it. Take all my cuttings out. My bucket's almost full. I can tie this up. I'm just going to turn it and I'll tie it right to here. But I've already got flowers on it, so that's pretty cool. Oh, come on, little, trying to put a little knot in here, but there we go. Okay, so those are my indeterminates. I just want to show you something. Look what's missing. That big honkin' pile of bark mulch that we had. Let's go take a look. Where's the deer? Look what the deer did. Got at my hollyhocks and ate the leaves off. The little beggars. They're cute from a distance. Okay, let's take a look and see what we did. We'll start from here. We've got bark mulch all in throughout my garden, all around my plants. Doesn't look like a weedy jungle anymore. It's all has the bark mulch on it, except for here. We need another load of bark mulch, but we're gonna wait. We don't have time to be doing this right now. We are busy taking on other tasks that need to be done, and we also have to borrow the trailer, so this is gonna have to wait. Okay, these are my bush type determinate tomatoes. With these, all I'm going to do is I'm going to prune off the bottom branches. I'm not going to have to tie them. I do have tomato cages around these tomatoes, and I'm just pruning off the bottom branches just to give it better airflow. Oh, this one's broken, so I'm just going to prune that one off. I probably broke it when I've been coming out here to water it, and that's probably when I broke it. So I'm just pruning off the bottom. That's probably about 10 inches. I'll do the same thing here. I took 2 branches off of those. Then I have this one. I think that's good enough. So this one here, this is a cream sausage, and it is like your Roma, but it is a creamy yellow color to it. I got these seeds from my sister, so I'm super excited to see what these are going to be like. This is a Manitoba, and this one on the other side is an indigo rose. So the Manitoba is a medium-sized tomato, and it's a fairly heavy producer. So I'm just going to clip off these bottom branches. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, I thought I seen another leaf in there. I'll do the same for this one. Clip off the bottom branches. And this indigo rose, that's a cherry tomato. And that's all I'm going to do. You can actually see my marigolds now. This one here is a San Marzano, so it is another type of aroma as well. I'm just going to get my snippers in here, going from behind. Not the easiest to get in here. And then I can get this other one on this side. Okay, and I'll get this one in the back. There we go. Got a couple of weeds in here. I'll take those out as well. And then this one beside me, this is 2 cherry tomatoes. So I have a Torenzo on this side, and it's got little cherry tomatoes on it. And then this is my yellow tumbler. And I'm just going to take this bottom branch off. And this one. Have some really close to the bottom on this tumbler, but I don't want to take anything off that has tomatoes on it. And that one did not. It had some flowers on it, but it didn't have any tomatoes on it. Okay, and then I'll just take that bottom branch off. And I'll pull this one back. This one here is a Celebrity. And it's a medium-sized red tomato. And that's all I'm going to take off of them. Clip out some of these branches first, see where they are. Okay, this is another San Marzano. This is another Manitoba. So I've got some at the very bottom, and I think that is all I'm going to take off of this. Not very many. Oh, maybe I'll take this one off too. There we go. Another cherry tomato. And there's 2 in here. Again, we have the Torenzo and we have the yellow tumbler. So I will take the bottom branches off of the Torenzo first. There's only a couple. And then I'll take the bottom branches off of the yellow tumbler. And these ones have tomatoes on them as well. Okay, that's all I'm going to take off of that one. And then this is another cream sausage. And again, just a couple. One more at the very bottom I have to take off. And I'm going to take this one out too. There. It's got some little flowers on it as well. Going to push that to the inside. So that's all I'm going to be doing for today. But yeah, you decide. Should you prune or shouldn't you prune? That is the million-dollar question. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.